What's up, guys? Matt here. Today I'm doing something I haven't done before. Well, kind of, sort of. I've done it before in the sense that I've backlit Game Boy Pockets, but never with an IPS display. So, some of the Game Boy Pockets I've modded have been with a simple backlight, various colors, but only one static color at a time, and a bivert module, such as this one. My extreme green pocket, which we took a look at in an earlier video I put up. This is extreme green. It has a green backlight, which matches it beautifully. I thought about installing an IPS display on here, but then I was like, this is more or less perfect the way it is, and I kind of want to preserve this as like a moment in time. This was the very first, was it? I think it was the very first pocket that I ever modded successfully. And it's gone through a lot of different changes, and like I want to keep this one like this to still have this version of a backlight. Similarly, I have original Game Boys, the DMG models, with I have one standard stock untouched. I just cleaned it up. I have another one with a bivert and backlight install, and I have another with an IPS display. So I'm kind of trying to keep that going for each Game Boy that I have as much as I can, money permitting. So this one, backlight, bivert, standard AAA batteries that go in it. I have this one. This was my favorite until today. Still a really good one. My DMG original Game Boy styled pocket with a rechargeable battery, backlit screen. I think it's a washed yellow backlit screen. Cleaned this one up really well also, and I love it. It's I think a 1000 milliamp hour battery inside of it that I installed. So this recharges over micro USB. Love this thing. I don't think I could put rechargeable batteries in this next game. I mean, a rechargeable lithium polymer battery in there. In this guy, I had a clear Game Boy Pocket sitting on one of my shelves, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna throw the IPS screen inside there. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to install the IPS display in here. The quality of the screen it makes doing the mod totally worth it. It was fun. It didn't take too long. A little bit of trimming the front housing of the shell. Two things to solder, which really winds up being like 4 things to solder, 4 little points. Very easy, very straightforward to do. So let's take a look at what I did. So of course you're gonna need your best looking Game Boy Pocket for something like this. This is the IPS display kit from FunnyPlaying. Comes with the IPS display, the ribbon, which is the magic that makes this all happen, a glass lens without an LED light hole, and some double-sided adhesive, which goes on like this, except inside. Don't apply it to the outside. The screen on this Game Boy Pocket is absolutely perfect, so I'm going to be holding on to it in case I come across another pocket in the future that may need a new screen. So make sure you take a game out if there's one in there, the batteries, the battery cover of course, and we're going to start by taking the 6 tri-wing screws out of the back. Inside on the board there are 3 Phillips head screws. We're going to go ahead and take those out. And we will gently unplug the ribbon from its slot at the top. And the board should come right out. Might need to wiggle the speaker out a little bit. Take out the silicone membranes that are there for the buttons. Pop the buttons out. And then the display comes out pretty easily. If you've ever taken ice out of an ice tray, it's pretty much the same thing to loosen it up. And then just grab a corner and take the display right out. The area we're going to be trimming is the outer perimeter of where the screen was. All around here. So grab some wire cutters or any other type of trimming tool you have and just have at it. Take out as much of the plastic as you can. This is probably the most time-consuming part of this mod. So at this point, you can either sand it down if you have some fine grit sandpaper. I chose to use my rotary tool, Dremel, just to get the rest of it out. We want it to be as smooth and flat as possible. Nice and flat. Oh, hey. Oh. So we're just going to do a test fit to make sure that the screen fits. Is nice and smooth with all the room in there that we made. We're going to go ahead and apply the double-sided adhesive that was provided and give that a test drive also. The 2 points to solder on the ribbon are for the power and for touch. So you're going to need tiny little dabs of solder on those two. I basically pointed the wires opposite ways for the way that they're going to need to be installed. One facing the left, one facing the right. I just figured it was easier that way. Kind of looks like a bug or something. So at this point, I slid the ribbon in to prepare it to install the other end of one of these wires to the power switch located at the top of the Game Boy. First, we're going to tin it up with some solder. We're going to install that wire that's right above it to that first leg on the power switch, the leg farthest to the left. And in order to hold that wire, I'm using my anti-ESD tweezers from my iFixit toolkit. Thanks, iFixit. Hold that wire in place with the tweezers and solder it in place. We're going to tin up this little metal piece that is the touch sensor and wire that on, and see everything's on there nice and clean. We're going to apply some double-sided tape to the back of the ribbon that was provided. And we're going to gently stick that to the lower left of the back of the screen. I picked the display up and gently plugged in the display's connection to the ribbon. I applied some thin Kapton tape to the top of the ribbon itself so that it doesn't short anything out when you close everything up, when you close the entire system up. So it was at this point that I realized I forgot something. I forgot to trim down the leads on the end of the cartridge connector on the front side of the board. So I removed the wire that I connected to the far left leg of the power switch and unplugged the ribbon, and then quickly snipped off all of the edges on the cart connector. Snip those as flat and flush as possible. Next, I popped in the buttons. I'm going to gently lay the screen in and give this a test run. I only screwed in one of the screws, the middle screw here on the board. Popped in the power button. Some batteries. A game. And now, the moment of truth. It works. You see here the touch sensor at work, switching colors around. You can also turn the little pixel scan lines on and off, which is pretty awesome. And now it's time to finalize it. I had noticed that the screen wasn't completely flush on one side. So I'm going to snip out as much as I can with my wire cutters. And then I finish the job with an X-Acto knife. Peel off that tape. Peel off the protective plastic that's on the display. And drop the screen in. So make sure it gets installed as far left and up as possible. Lay the board in and make sure that the speaker is in place. Insert the power switch. I then applied some double-sided tape to the top side of the sensor. And installed it using my tweezers. Push it to the upper part of the case as much as possible. I then screwed in the 3 Phillips head screws to the board and put on the rear housing. We're going to put back those 6 tri-wing screws real quick. The finishing touch is the glass lens for the front of the system. And quickly clean that up too. Insert some batteries. Battery cover. A game and fire it up. The touch sensor is able to be used through the system itself, which is pretty nice. You will not find a more clear Game Boy Pocket. I didn't mean that because the system's clear, I mean the clarity of the screen. I actually didn't realize I made a pun there. And you can see there how it looks with the scanline pixels turned on and off. And you can see a little bit of the work there inside the case. I don't know about you, but the IPS screen is totally worth it. The fact that it kind of, sort of, I guess the word I'll use is emulate. It emulates the pixels, the little boxy pixels on the screen. That makes it look very similar to an original Pocket. You know, we're talking about like a non-backlit one. Those little squares make a world of difference for me, and I love little details like that. FunnyPlaying and those guys did a great job with designing this. The install was a little bit of a test, especially since this was the first and only one that I've done so far. I don't know if I'm going to do it to my other one. Like, I really want to give it a try on that DMG style pocket, that original Game Boy looking Game Boy Pocket, this one here. But I don't know if I could use this 1000 milliamp hour battery in there, so I'll have to find some sort of alternative. I would absolutely love to have that IPS screen in here. Yeah, totally worth it to me. What do you think? You know, it's a $50 kit. It's like a no-brainer for someone like me that's into modding systems. $50 is a steal. I've paid 70 or more, 75 or more for screens in the past, so I think $50 is really affordable. It didn't take too long, and having that, I've documented this now on video. The next one I do should be even easier. So what do you think? You think it's worth it? You think it's worth the $50? You think it's worth the time? Would you rather just have someone else do it for you? So anyways, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.